in a mushroom kind of mood today. Hey there, it's Care. Welcome to Matek at the Lake, and welcome to Flip Through Friday. Before we get started, a little side note. Enjoying a wonderful cup of coffee, one of my new very favorites. Check this out. Walmart has blueberry cobbler coffee creamer. My month has been made. I feel like I'm in the Willy Wonka movie. It tastes just like blueberry cobbler. It smells just like blueberry cobbler. It's amazing. And I didn't have to bake anything. I could stick a straw in it and call it a good. Oh, is it yummy? Yum, yum, yum. Yum, yummy. So today's Flip Through Friday is my In a Mushroom Kind of Mood little book. It started out as a kid's board book. Nice thick pages. This one had even thicker pages. And then I pulled all the shiny stuff off, and then they look like this. And they're just a nice little blank canvas that you can do all kinds of things with. Some pages come off super easy and clean, and some are a ginormous pain in the arse. Either way, you end up with a really nice blank canvas to play with. So I watched Sue Fichter's Glue Therapy Glue Book project. I'll link that below. And she had watched Cage Fish's Glue Therapy Glue Book, and she did it. And it just looked so nice. May was a month from hell. I told Leanne 2 holidays and a destination wedding is just too effing much for 1 month for a person who's fairly antisocial. So it was just chaotic and hectic, and I just felt like I needed something that didn't have a deadline, didn't have a theme, didn't have anything. And so the Glue Therapy Glue Book was the ticket. I went to my board books because I had been wanting to do something with one of my board books. I grabbed a board book and I went to my wall of supplies and I grabbed this tote. And this tote is just an overflow. Let me zoom back out a little bit. This tote is just an overflow of vintage stuff. Dictionary pages, avocado dyed pages, coffee dyed deli paper, stamped stuff, stuff from magazines, packaging, envelopes, I mean, you name it, and it's in here. Corrugated cardboard, coffee dyed book pages, coffee dyed newspaper, stamped stuff, paper towel, I mean, pieces of kits of days gone by, just all kinds of goodies. And what I did was I scrolled through and I tried to grab random things. These are all glued together. Piece of that, a little piece of this. These are some ginormous pieces of paper, newspaper. I'll take a piece of that. I love this book. It was a novel told in poems, and it has such great, it's a good story. It's a young adult novel. Here's a bird walk, watch me go. But she does these poems throughout, and it's the whole poem is here, but she pulls out these words: life presents obstacles to overcome. If you think about it, life would be kind of boring, blah, blah, blah. Each day presents choices. It's so fun the way that she wrote the book. Very creative writing. Some painty papers. Anyway, I just grabbed randomly, which is always fun. And there aren't a lot of size variations. There's very big and big. And per Caged Fish's Glue Therapy project, she had a basket full of, I'm going to keep as much of this intact as I can, large pieces, and a basket full of medium pieces, and a basket full of teeny pieces. And of course, she had baskets full, and I'm just showing you approximately the sizes that I worked with. And I kept the little tote handy, and literally, as prescribed for the therapy, you just blindly pick and stick it on the page, one sheet at a time, preferably. Just pick and stick it on the page. So I went through each page, and I added one large piece all the way to the end, and then started at the back and randomly grabbed one medium piece and put one medium piece anywhere on each page. So at the end of round 2, each page had a large piece and a medium piece. And then they were pretty plain, and so I went through round 3 and I added a second medium-sized piece to each page. Page 1, page 2, etc. Did that all the way to the back. Now, just random. Didn't really think about it, didn't try to matchy-match, didn't try to coordinate shapes and sizes too much. I can't shut my brain off completely, but this was, again, no theme and no rhyme or reason, just gluing torn paper onto a page, period. And it was terrific fun. I enjoyed it immensely. Much like I'm enjoying this coffee with that blueberry cobbler creamer in it. Oh, it's so good. I can't even tell you. So then I went through, round 3 was 2 mediums, and then round 4 was a small. And then I let it sit, and it was done. And I enjoyed that immensely. I did. But as the book sat there, it seemed very plain to me. It wasn't quite enough, you know? So one of the other things that I like to just do is stamp. Just get out a couple of my favorite stamps and stamp. And so that's what I did. And that added, that's not true. Before I stamped, I took a large piece of packaging craft paper and I tore it into random pieces, random sizes and shapes. And I, again, grabbed pretty randomly and stuck a piece of craft paper to each page. Then I went to stamping each thing. Some of the paper had already had stamps, but I had the script stamp out and my favorite little swirly ivy thing. I don't even know what that is, but I love it. I use it almost on everything. And I quite liked that. But then I thought, it's time for a focal point, and that's when it went from glue book therapy to let's make this into something. And I had several of these mushrooms cut out left over from my dark fairy tale themed wedding book. I'll link that below in case you missed it. I had a whole bunch of the cutouts left over, and so I thought, well, I like mushrooms. I'll throw some mushrooms in here. So I did. And then I thought, I'd love a mushroom quote. Are there such thing as mushroom quotes? There has to be a mushroom quote. Turns out there are several mushroom quotes. A meal without mushrooms is like a day without rain. Now, depending on how you feel about rain and mushrooms, this will mean different things to different people. Advice is like mushrooms, the wrong kind can prove fatal, for sure. Falling in love is like eating mushrooms. You never know if it's the real thing until it's too late. If only one could tell true love from false love as one can tell mushrooms from toadstools. Anyway, so I went looking for a mushroom quote or two, and I found several that I always, if I'm going to put this stuff together and print it for myself, I always try to make you one too. So there. And I couldn't just leave you hanging with quotes and tiny mushrooms. I put together a variety of mushrooms for you. Some pretty watercolory mushrooms, some fanciful, some realistic. I love the purple ones. Go figure. Actually, we're going to call them blueberry colored ones today. Some black ones and some brown ones. Some dark sepia colored ones to play with in case you're in a mushroom kind of mood too. After the glue book therapy part of it, random, small, medium, and large pieces added, I had this overwhelming need. Normally I don't like to finger paint, but I got out my copper color acrylic paint, and I just kind of finger painted here and there. I did some of the page edging with that copper color because it was in the cover. The cover I had done way separately. It was just a scrap of something that I had, a scrap of a masterboard that I had made. If I can find it, I will link that video below too, because that was really fun to make. And I hit the pages with some of that copper color too, just to kind of tie everything together. Then I decided it needed gold leafing. The copper wasn't shiny enough for me, so I added just some random gold leafing here and there. Then I think I went to adding the phrases. So on with the flip through. One more step that I neglected to mention was after I put in my little mushrooms, I went through with the Stabilo pencil and gave it just a little bit of drop shadow. I think I did it to all of them where they were fussy cut. And some of the pages, for example this one, I really liked seeing the dictionary on there, so I did not put a quote on there. Same thing with this last page. I love this last page. It's a little poem about ghosts, and then, like I showed you earlier, she pulls out just bits and parts of it that make their own little poem. Ghosts don't scare me, flesh and blood people do. I just love that little piece. And this piece of long division, might not be long division, might just be division. Been a while since I took math class. But this was my mother's grade school. The only thing that let me know that it was hers is it had her name at the very top. I tore that out for a Mom and Me book that I'm working on, but I tore up the math part of it and used it here and there throughout the book, so that's kind of cool. A digikit I used for my aunt's glue book, junk journal, altered book bundle. I also tried to be as random as I could. The only thing I did pay attention to was size, as to where the quotes would fit, and I also wanted them some to leave the white, some were outlined with inking, some don't have the white, some are outlined with pen, some are done in brown walnut stain. Again, just to kind of revisit that randomness and that each is a little bit different. Super fun. I had such a good time doing this. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the kit. This kit is free for my Patreon members. I don't talk nearly enough about my wonderful Patreon members and my Patreon page. There's behind the scenes and sneak peeks and free digikits, and some longer videos are coming eventually. Some videos that are just for Patreon. P.S. You can also buy this kit on Etsy. So however you want to access it. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out. Happy Flip Through Friday. I know Janet Nash usually does a Flip Through Friday. If you've not gone to Christina's Shack, who hosts this hashtag Flip Through Friday, go there and check out her caravan junk journal. It's a junk journal shaped as a caravan, and it is the cutest thing on 2 wheels or 4 wheels. Probably. I can't wait to make one. You have a lovely, lovely crafty day. Go love up your Beasleys. I'm gonna take out the light. Out for now.